Well, Joe Biden has just proven a major conspiracy to be true. In a meeting where he addressed leading CEOs, he made the bombshell statement. Take a listen.
We are at an inflection point, I believe, in the world economy. Not just the world economy, in the world. It occurs every 3 or 4 generations. As one of the top military people said to me in a secure meeting the other day, 60 million people died between 1900 and 1946. And since then, we established a liberal world order, and that hadn't happened in a long while. A lot of people dying, but nowhere near the chaos. And now is a time when things are shifting. There's going to be a new world order out there, and we've got to lead it. We've got to unite the rest of the free world in doing it.
I thought we weren't supposed to talk about a new world order, and I thought the new world order was, just a conspiracy theory. But yet, here Joe Biden is openly admitting that a new world order does exist, and of course, he wants to lead it. But that's not the only time he's talked about a new world order.
In the post-war era, post-World War II era, we faced a slightly different set of challenges. As the global economy reemerged from the destructions of war, we knew that institutions and rules were needed to navigate through this new world order. And because our parents and grandparents were wise and because they were committed, we did what we've always done best. We exercised our global leadership. We were the driving force behind the creation of the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, as well as the GATT, as well as the World Trade Organization, the architecture for the global economic system. The affirmative task we have now is to actually create a new world order.
Interesting. Here's the thing. I've been warning about the New World Order ever since I've had a channel on YouTube. I have been warning year after year about the coming global order. And now it seems it's on our doorstep. But you know what? Joe Biden's not the only one that's been talking about this New World Order.
I think his task will be to develop an overall strategy for America in this period when really a new world order can be created. It's a great opportunity. It isn't just a crisis.
With the end of the Cold War, Henry Kissinger pointed out in his superb book on diplomacy, he said, "None of the most important countries which must build a new world order have had any experience with the multi-state system that is emerging. Never before has a new world order had to be assembled from so many different perceptions or on so global a scale. Nor has any previous order had to combine the attributes of the historic balance of power system with global democratic opinion and the exploding technology of the contemporary period." That was written in 1994, and it may be even more relevant today.
Folks, there is a new world order that's being created.
Out of these troubled times, our fifth objective, a new world order, can emerge, a new era, freer from the threat of terror, stronger in the pursuit of justice, and more secure in the quest for peace.
Have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
We seek to establish a new world order. Why then are we using tools from the old Cold War order?
The gentleman yields.
Either there will be a new world order where countries will hang together to stop aggression by use of economics, by the use of embargoes, by the use of negotiations, by taking all of our talent and all our creativity and all of our might to solve this peacefully. Or there will be an old world order where Americans end up dead, our economy ends up broke, and our government deep in debt.
And then the third great reality, which defines our historical and geopolitical context, is a new phenomenon which I've been trying to emphasize in some of my writings and which I call the global political awakening.
We meet here at a moment of testing for Europe and the United States, and for the international order that we have worked for generations to build.
So what exactly does this new world order look like? Well, imagine George Orwell's 1984 on steroids and probably one of your worst nightmares. In fact, the globalists have been very open about what their plans are. And if you really want to know what's going on with the new world order, get to restrictedrepublic.com. I created this site because of all the censorship that we endure here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. All of these agencies are now silencing conservatives. If you want to know what's going on, you have to start getting behind some of these paywalls. And right now, we're offering it for $5 a month. Use that coupon code TRUMP to take advantage of that special offer, $5 for the entire first year. But this is where we share unrestricted, uncensored content about what's really going on. So if you want to be in the know, get to restrictedrepublic.com and check it out there. But what does this new world order look like? Well, let's take a look at some of the things that are going to be implemented once they get their new world order. And by the way, new world order is another word for Great Reset, is another word for Fourth Industrial Revolution, is another word for Agenda 2030, Agenda 21. All of these ideas or names are all the same thing. They're all part of the New World Order. It's all part of where we're headed. That's why you hear Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum constantly talk about a great reset, aka Fourth Industrial Revolution. He changes his talking points based off of who he's talking to, but it's all paths going to the same thing. But the question therein lies, what does it look like? Well, one of the things that they openly talk about in this new society, it's not even to be hushed or quiet. They're very open about this. One of the goals there is a cashless society. They intend and plan on and will be going to all digital currency. That is the idea. In fact, Biden has already signed an executive order on it. Take a look here. We have techhq.com. Digital dollar coming. Biden signs executive order to study CBDC. The rise in digital assets creates an opportunity, says the White House, to reinforce American leadership in the global financial system and at the technological front. This is Joe Biden signing an executive order, or can I say Fed coin of some sort? They absolutely want to get rid of the cash in our society because they want to be able to track you. They want to be able to tax you on every little thing. This is surveillance on steroids. In fact, Justice Knight over on Restricted Republic gets into it in detail on this particular video. One of the single most devastating executive orders ever signed is now official. And here he really gets into what that executive order is all about. But get to Restricted Republic to check that out. The second thing that they want is the Green New Deal, Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, whatever name they want to give it. It's all on the same path, but it's the Green New Deal on steroids. You see, right now, companies in the United States of America are already signed an ESG number. ESG meaning environmental, social, and governance number, which basically rates companies on how green they are, or how friendly they are, or how much gas they use. Not friendly, but friendly to the environment. Let me reiterate, and how good of a social justice warrior you are. So if you own a gun shop, let's just put a low level, on your ESG score. This is the way that they're going to eventually censor all content, by the way. But basically, this will expand not only on big businesses, this is going to go to small businesses, private businesses, and eventually it's going to be on every single business, no matter the size. And it's going to be public record. And this is really going to open up leftist activist groups to go after certain companies that have a bigger ESG score than someone else. This is social credit score. This is exactly what it is. And it won't be long before that score goes on you, just like they do in China. And here's what I'm talking about. And this is environmental, social, and governance initiatives they say can cement customer loyalty. And what they mean by customer loyalty, it means they get to control what companies get the money, the ads, and all of that. And that is the ultimate goal, which will silence and put out of business anyone that they don't like. This is the ultimate go around. You know how they kind of went around the system and went to OSHA to get their vaccine mandates passed because they knew it was against the Constitution. Well, this is the same concept. It's the ultimate go around for tyranny on steroids. That's on all. We have number 3. It kind of gets into number 2. They kind of go together. Heavy taxes. They're going to tax you by the mile. You're going to have carbon taxes. You're going to be taxed on how much energy you use in your home. You may even have rationing in your home where they ration the amount of energy. Maybe they ration how often you get to drive your car, when you get to drive your car, when you get to use your car, if you get to drive your car. All of it will be rationed. And this is the kind of society that they have in mind, all in the name of saving the planet. But basically, that's going to cause Americans to be in mass poverty. Another one here, mass surveillance. We're talking about global biometric ID, microchip implants. That's eventually where they're headed. We know Klaus Schwab has openly talked about this multiple times in many of the conversations that he's had. And he actually calls Justin Trudeau as one of the leaders of this industrial revolution, aka order, aka Great Reset, as somebody we should be looking up to, the guy who went after truckers and issued tyrannical executive orders against them and confiscated their bank accounts and trucks. I don't know about you, but that is North Korea style politics, China style politics, Hitler style politics being used by Justin Trudeau. Number 5 here, government will own everything. You'll have to rent it from the government, borrow it from the government, use it from the government, and you will own nothing. And of course, this is part of the World Economic Forum here. Daily news break. The Great Reset will render all products as services to implement you will own nothing by 2030. And they fully intend to meet that timeline. You know, it used to be Agenda 21, and then that got backed out to 2030. And then somewhere in the middle of it all, we had a pandemic, which just so happened to open up the door for their agenda. And so did this war between Russia and Ukraine. So now they have all this chaos going on. It's the great time to, well, never let a crisis go to waste and implement these tyrannical dictates. And they keep telling us what it's all about. They're not being quiet. We really do not want to live where we're sole authority to a government that gets to control everything we own. This is bad news. Because you know what? If they don't like what you're saying or what you're doing or who you are, we'll just take away those privileges from you. And forever, amen. We will never, the government will basically be like a god to the people, and we will be at their beckoning call. This is called slavery. There's no other way to put that. And another thing, number 6 here, censorship in mass. Absolute censorship in mass. Already here in the United States, they're already discussing ways to use NewsGuard, which is a radical leftist organization, to go after podcasts and basically put ratings on certain podcasts so that, you know, ad agencies won't use conservative commentators. Take a look at what I'm talking about here. We're talking anyone they don't like will be gone in this new world order, will be silenced, will not be able to have a voice anywhere. Big agencies, and this is by the way, Business Insider, big agencies in discussion to rate credibility of ad-supported podcast. So here it is, NewsGuard being the one, the companies are in talk with NewsGuard. In other words, if you own a podcast, they don't like what you're saying, they're going to rate you in a certain way to say, oh, you know, you don't want to use this particular podcast because of fill in the blank. They subscribe to conspiracy theories like the New World Order. You know, they mean something else when they say New World Order. It doesn't mean what they say. Well, they tell us what it says, and we are going exactly by what they're doing, but I digress. They're giving, it's not fact-checking, it's opinionated news and opinionated, but they're going to go after the ads of these podcasts, ads of alternative media, ads of YouTubers, ads of anyone they don't like, and take away their money so they can't do what they're doing. Again, I can't stress enough. This is why I created RestrictedRepublic.com, and I don't mean to reiterate myself, but that's why I did it. And that's why people are on there, because they're talking about going after the ads and removing those completely. So we kind of jumped in and said, you know what? Paywall might be the best thing in light of what is going on. And I love all of you. But with that, obviously, there's a lot more to the New World Order. Basically, all the stuff that George Orwell's 1984 talks about, plus so much more. Mass surveillance, no privacy. Everything will be controlled by the government. You'll be dictated what you can and can't do, what you can and can't use. And if you happen to use certain things, you'll get taxed for it. So it's a heavy tax burden on the American population. Anyhow, With that, don't forget to check out my partner, BioTrust, at ketowithlisa.com. If you guys are looking to go on a diet without doing the actual keto diet, this is one great way to do that. And all you have to do is put 1 scoop in your coffee, or you can put it in your shake in the morning. And what it does is it kind of works just like the keto diet does. So helps you lose that weight that you've been trying to lose without doing the massive keto diet. Now, obviously, you still want to diet, still want to, take exercise and do those things, but this is a great way to take advantage of that weight loss. So get to ketowithlisa.com and check it out today. And by the way, they've got a 60-day money back guarantee. Anyhow, thank you again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.